My name is Ren Schultz, and I'm a web developer. You've used the internet, of course, and that is what I do. I take care of all the elements for my client of their website. I'm currently freelance, and I usually end up working with smaller companies, so I do more than just straight web development. I do some back-end stuff. I do a little bit of server management stuff, kind of all things in between, but my passion really does lie for that back-end PHP, MySQL, kind of the nitty-gritty that makes things work. I got into tech at a very young age. I started doing programming in BASIC in 7th and 8th grade, and then on my TI-82 calculator did some more development there. And when I went away to college, I knew that's what I wanted because it exercises my brain, it's problem solving, and it doesn't matter how you get there, it just matters that you get it done. And I just love that. I love that because when you do it, you do it and it's done. So when I graduated college, I moved back home and took my job as a stonemason that I'd had all through school because the tech industry was down at that point and I couldn't find a job back east. And then out of the blue, I got a call from one of my mom's friends who knew that I had dabbled in tech all through high school and college, and their company was looking to hire someone. And I think it was more about the person and the willingness to learn than it was about having that resume. And sure enough, even though I'd never programmed in Java before, they thought, sure, yeah, come on in. And I did, and I hired on, and everyone in the company was just there for me. They knew that I didn't know, but they knew that I would learn. And so they gave me tasks here and there, and they looked over my shoulder and they helped me set up environments. And it worked out great because I'm a quick learner. I picked it up, and pretty soon I felt like I was on par with all of them, but always could reach out if I needed help figuring something out or what they would do, what the best approach was to this problem or that problem. So that first job that I had really did feel like it was the perfect one for me because it just brought me up to speed. I guess I would say I'm mostly self-taught. The college that I attended didn't have a computer science program. We had a couple classes that I took, but I got a math major with a minor in computer science. And I did take one semester leave from my small liberal arts to go to a bigger school that had more classes. So I took a C++ class, I took a JavaScript class up at Western Washington University, and that taught me some structure, but really almost everything was on-the-job learning for me. From hiring on to the Office of College Relations in college, where I learned all about XML and XSL, to when I got hired on, I learned all about Java and JavaScript. The languages that I learned in a professional development situation or in an educational situation never overlapped with what I did professionally. And so, yeah, there were some core elements there, but really it felt like it was on-the-job learning and self-directed learning. I remember when I first got to my first professional job, I was overwhelmed by not the environment, the structure of, oh, you have to have a database running on your computer and you have to learn your passwords for this and that, and you need to, telnet in and all this stuff. And I had done all my coding locally to that point. And so really the environment, getting that set up, you can't do anything until you've got all those things talking to each other and all those things working. And that was trial by fire, I guess you would say. My first online job was with an online photography place, and we printed books and you could get calendars made and all this kind of stuff. And we had a fair amount of leeway on what we worked on. And so I thought, man, drag and drop would be really fun to implement in the browser. And this was 20 years ago, before kind of it was a common thing. And I played around with it, and my bosses saw what I was playing with and they got way excited about it. So we ended up implementing it across the site for all our product development. And it was neat to see this thing that I was just poking at, making it to the final site. I think the thing that surprised me most was I wasn't as out of my league as I thought I might be. And I'm totally on par with them, and they have terminology that I haven't learned yet, but I know the concepts behind it, I just don't know the words. I hit the ground running and I was just right there with them. I really like freelancing because I like helping people. I like helping companies. And when you're freelancing, someone only comes to you when they need help. And I get to come in and I get to be that help. I get to help them design the tools they need and implement the tools they need. And I get to go help the next customer down the line. And in all elements of my life, I just love that helping people side of things. And the downside is you miss out on being part of a team sometimes because you're bouncing from place to place. But that ability to help help clients really kind of trumps that in my eyes. What do I do in my free time? I like to juggle. In fact, I juggle a lot.
Tell us a little about your juggling.
Okay, so I've been juggling forever, since I was in high school, and it was always just something I did. But as I did it and got better at it, people started asking me to come perform at their parties, and soon enough I realized, hey, if I'm gonna perform, you should pay me. And then it became a job, and then I got business cards, and then I got costumes, and then I got a website, and now I juggle a lot. I juggle for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Juggling to me is the best of all worlds. I get to use my body, I get to relieve stress, I get to relieve the focus that comes with so many other things in the world, and just be, and let my body do what it wants to do, and having a sense of accomplishment of doing something that I've never done before and working towards something. Juggling is really the perfect hobby. So there's a lot of overlap between juggling and computer programming, and you'll see that because so many computer programmers also juggle. It's something about the way our brains work. And, you know, different people say it different ways, but I always see computer programming is a set of rules you follow to get something. You have the syntax of the language, and you have the for loops and all that kind of stuff. In juggling, you have the same thing. You have to throw it from one hand to the other, and how high can you throw it? How many can you throw in the air? And so when you get beyond just self-juggling, when you're now passing with other people, there's even more of that mathematical, programmatic, okay, I'm gonna throw here 3 times, then 1 time there, but if I throw twice here and then double over there, then that circumvents this pass. And so there's actually numeric and programmatic ways to describe juggling patterns, which speaks maybe to how many computer programmers also juggle. I think a lot of us came up with this notation and this language around it. I loved my time in the professional world. I loved commuting in and having the coffee machine and having a group of programmers where we would solve a problem together. And I'm really glad that I walked away when I did and moved to freelancing, because I've worked with some wonderful clients over the years and had wonderful opportunities too. And I love that I have all the skills that I have in my back pocket, so that if juggling falls through, I can always come back and I can do any of it again, or ramp it up and have it integrate with my life in so many different ways. So I don't think that I would do anything different in terms of my career path. Mentorship in my life now, in everything, you know, as we all age, we get to that point from being taught to being teachers, and it happens in tech and it happens in juggling as well. And so I do take it upon myself to see the younger jugglers that are just striking out and giving them my tips, and also teaching them skills. When I was first learning to juggle, there is someone that took the time to pass clubs back and forth with me, and I drop every other one, and they said, good job, let's try it again. And I find myself doing that a lot now, because juggling is not only part of my professional life, it is a big part of my community. I still hang out with the circus. I still go to Juggle Club every Monday night, and those younger people, that's how we bring them in, and that's how we get them hooked on juggling. So the word mentorship is never kind of applied as much, but that olders teaching youngers, those who know teaching those who don't know, is just, that's the way it should be, and I try and support that.